I want to talk about the topic of the handling of a franchise and whether it's appropriate for a franchise to grow up with its audience. I'll be focusing on using Transformers and the franchise's history to express my thoughts, but I'm sure it can apply to other franchises, with some being mentioned as examples of how not to run a franchise. Let's get started. Transformers originally started in 1984 with its first line of toys and its first television series, both dubbed under Generation 1. A major business like Hasbro wanted to plan out the best possible business strategy and to be sure there isn't cannibalization between their different toy lines running concurrently with each other. In the early 1980s, it was important to plan against your competition, from Barbie, Cabbage Patch Kids, to even Care Bears, while also appealing to as many different groups as possible. For Hasbro during that time, they decided to relaunch G.I. Joe in 1982, with Transformers and My Little Pony being released in 1984, both of them concurrently in the same year. G.I. Joe is a boys-focused toy line, with My Little Pony being for girls, leaving Transformers the odd man out in this, trying to figure out their place under Hasbro. Transformers eventually took the neutral route in order not to steal the thunder of either G.I. Joe or My Little Pony. Now that's Hasbro's influence, while Transformers being looked more as a boys' toy was, to my opinion, due to outside influences, specifically with the popularity of toys like Barbie dominating the girls' toy market, destroying any chance of direct marketing to girls in order to avoid a war with the stronger brand at the time, and, most importantly, to not stifle the potential growth of Hasbro's new girl-focused toy line, My Little Pony. That's what I managed to gather from articles and the fact I wasn't born yet to experience it. Instead, my personal experience lies with Michael Bay leading the Transformers direction through his movies. Naturally, Michael Bay's style is more focused on appealing to young boys and teens, with Transformers establishing itself as a summer blockbuster movie franchise. Now, the question is, in contrast to its early years, does that mean Transformers is now considered primarily a boys franchise then? To answer the question, I personally believe that Transformers isn't primarily a boys franchise. Transformers, throughout all its time, is more a neutral franchise designed for both boy and girl demographics, and any leaning towards boys is either Hasbro balancing it out with other toy lines for the sake of its survival and the survival of its other toy lines, or Michael Bay's summer blockbuster influence. Other points in Transformer history, well, the entirety of it, is defined by one mentality: build out the story to get people invested into buying into the brand. Hasbro is progressive enough to love all types of people. Well, especially those with money to spend, of course, as this is the same company that didn't have a problem gaining profit with bronies. Female Transformers are an excellent gauge of this effect on the franchise, seeing how they lessen or increase visibility based on where the metric is throughout the years, even back to the first animated movie. They were absent due to the franchise's renewal with Michael Bay's movies and are now slowly becoming more and more abundant, showing a desire from Hasbro to steer back the franchise to being neutral. And it does help that fans buy the toys of these characters too. For a multi-billion-dollar company, it's nice to see that Hasbro embraces a diverse fan base, well, for profit of course, it's a business. And like any good company, they should further diversify the extent of future stories and projects to not only make greater profit, but to also appeal to its young and older fan base. Transformers is primarily a children's franchise, but that doesn't mean that it should be restricted to only making children's content. The success of older IDW comics shows a market and fan interest for darker stories that deal with the destruction of war, death, authoritarianism, death, brain manipulation, and did I forget to mention death? After all, there's a lot of trauma as a result of a 4 million year war. Back to my point. Hasbro already understands they have fans that have grown older with the franchise, which explains the prices for What the fuck? You know, this is quite similar to what other toy brands are doing now, like Lego. My mindset is that if we are designing products to be made and sold for adults, then I would think it would be possible to design entertainment to be for an older audience. It shouldn't be the primary focus, but it can be beneficial to diversify multiple projects running concurrently with each other, which is currently happening with a brand new movie trilogy, an animated movie, and multiple television shows to sell a fledgling streaming service amongst titans like Netflix. Transformers media should be allowed to diversify, allowing for more creative freedom for creators loving the franchise, not you, as it would prevent franchise burnout like with the MCU with its PG only, every project introduces a new hero, 2 fights per TV episode mindset that helps strangle the MCU's creativity and its empire. We can then avoid silly censors to keep a PG rating, like how dismemberment in Star Wars is gone from everything including video games, except for LEGO Star Wars of course. In fact, Star Wars is a good cautionary example of what not to do in order to retain a healthy fanbase and a strong franchise. The focus for Transformers should still be as a children's franchise, as it's important to continuously introduce younger generations to it. A good strategy implemented now is having Transformers Rescue Academy as a show to target younger toddlers, introducing them to the Transformers brand. It's important then to offer media that they can grow up to watch, preferably new media, as we can have generations continuously following as fans of the franchise, instilling a stronger connection to Transformers, similar to how I was introduced through the Michael Bay movies, grew up with them, and now mainly invest time reading the old IDW comics. The dream is for a balance of the abundance of Transformers media by making sure all age groups are satisfied, with an appeal to newer and older generations of fans, leading to a healthy franchise that lasts for decades. In contrast, Star Wars is a walking corpse. The management behind Star Wars angrily talked shit toward segments of the fanbase that disagreed with them, which is never a good business decision. The sequels then completely destroy the universe and any investment for hardcore fans, including investment into future projects, as it all ends with Rey, I stole your family's name without consent, Palpatine. Now they only have a small casual fanbase that enjoys Star Wars at surface level at best, because looking deeper into the writing will make their brain implode, leading to a fanbase slowly shrinking as every new underwhelming TV show is rushed out the door to feed people's appetite. Quality be damned. How the hell did I get back to ranting about Star Wars being shit again? Well, those are examples of what not to do for Transformers then. I guess what I'm saying is that since the early 80s, Transformers has always been a franchise that has been appealing and open to any kid wanting to watch Saturday morning cartoons, read comics, or play with cool toys. The franchise has hit some pitfalls and went in different directions, for better or for worse, but its strength is focusing on the plight of the Autobots and the Decepticons, transforming robots with relatable goals and personalities. Now, I believe it's ideal for the franchise to expand even further by allowing some projects to explore storytelling not limited to its for children mindset. Learn from the mistakes of others, and don't stifle creativity for Transformers media to PG-only restrictions, because it's been doing well as other competition flounders. But Transformers can easily destroy the competition, and that is something I truly believe that it can do. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. I just wanted to give out my thoughts on how the Transformers plan is, where it's going, where it was. Give out a more business sense of the where Transformers is in terms of who is it being marketed to, especially when it comes to the discussion of should boys or girls be drawn to Transformers. And I very much wanted to give out a perspective of also just the business side of things, which I very much think that Hasbro wants to focus on, but also to the later years, especially during the Michael Bay era that would very much say influence it, especially since 2007 is when the Transformers franchise very much hit a new life, got new life into it, per se. And from the way I've been making these videos, it looks like I am very much doing it monthly, so hopefully I will be able to do that and consistently. And hopefully I will be able to get new art, because personally I want to do something other than have Wheeljack constantly, have something more unique for branding. And Yes, that's all I have to say. You can also follow me on Twitter for any updates. Enjoy the rest of your day.